So guys, I just built my website using AI and it looks like shit. Oh, okay, let's try this again. Here, I'll enter in this prompt, and this time, okay, one last time. You know, sometimes these AI tools make decent looking websites, so let's try this again, right? Come on, YouTube, don't make me look stupid. Well, this is useless. Maybe I should delete this video, right?
Hey, stupid.
What? Is that the AI?
Just tell me what you want, and I will build your dumb little website.
Okay, build me a lawyer's website.
Here you go, complete homepage, all the necessary pages, and a contact form. Now, go get a real job.
Wow, well, you guys just saw that, right? Now, I just built a professional looking website completely using AI and didn't have to drag in an element or even touch a single line of code. So this is how it all works. I typed in what my website was about. I also asked it to include a few sections, and in just a few sentences, bam, I had a full website. Not just some random templates, but a full website with modern design, matching colors, and sections that actually made sense. Heck, you can even allow appointments and use it to create a full-blown e-commerce website. What's even better is I'll be giving you one prompt that will generate the entire website for you automatically in less than 30 seconds. How about that? Pretty cool, right?
Just tell your dumb little audience to tell me what they want.
Oh, okay, relax, honey. So listen, I'll walk you through how to make a professional looking website using Hostinger AI. Now, I've used many AI tools out there, and many of the time they produce very low tier looking websites, but this AI tool actually works quite well. So in this video, I'll walk you through how to generate a completely AI generated website in less than 30 seconds. So with that said, let's get started. Now, there is a link in the video description. It'll take you to Hostinger, where we're going to set up your new AI websites. Okay, and this is hostinger.com. You've probably heard of them. They're actually officially recommended by WordPress.org. They have great pricing and they have an AI builder. Now, once you get to this page, all you'll do is click on Claim Deal. Now, if you scroll down, there's going to be 3 business plans. Now, in order to access the AI tool, you need to get the business plan or better. The premium does not include the AI builder, so you want to make sure that you do select the business plan or better. So right here, I'll click on Choose Plan. Now, the next is the period. Now, the longer you sign up, the cheaper it is. But if you just want to test this out for the very first time, I definitely recommend 12 months. This will actually give you one of the best discounts. And also, you can use my coupon code to save even more money. So right here under Have a Coupon Code, you'll go ahead and type in Daryl10. And this will give you an additional 10% off any single plan that you choose. So right here, I'll click on Apply. And look at that, the code Daryl10 saves you an additional 10% off any of the plans that you choose. Now keep in mind, there's also a 30-day money back guarantee for any reason whatsoever. So once you enter in your coupon code, you'll then click on Continue. On the next screen, you'll enter in your billing address. So you'll put your first name, your last name, and your billing address. Below that, I'll click on Continue. And next you'll enter your method of payment. So you can use credit card, PayPal, Google Pay, and Apple Pay. Now, once you enter your information, I'll then meet you in the next page. So once you go through the sign up process, it'll ask you a few questions, right? Like where are you located, enter in your details. Then it'll ask you about if you want to build your website with AI. Make sure that you do select the AI option, and then you'll come to a screen that looks just like this. This is where you can essentially enter in your brand name and give a description about your business. But to get exactly what we want, we need to head over to Chatgpt. So let's do that. Now to get started with, you just want to get AI familiar with the Hostinger AI Builder. I want to create a website using Hostinger AI Website Builder. I need help with a very detailed prompt. Can you help me? Here I'll go ahead and press enter. So here I put, create me a prompt for a lawyer's website. Make sure the people are white American. The name of the firm is First Legal Group. Now the reason why you want to specify the actual ethnicity and who you want to show, because I've used this before and the AI will actually just take random people from different parts of the world, and it actually has like different writing, like in Vietnamese and in Arabic. So you want to be very descriptive for the AI so they know exactly who you're talking about and what you want. So once we enter our prompt, we'll then press enter. Okay, so then you'll see it created a really descriptive prompt. Now, the last thing that we want to do is we want to ask the AI to summarize this all in 700 characters. The reason why is because the Hostinger Website Builder's max character is 700. So you want to take all this information and condense it into 700 characters. So the last step is, can you make this prompt 700 characters for the AI Website Builder? This is the max the AI Builder allows. Go press enter, and voila, we have our 700 characters. So we're going to take this, copy it, and then we're gonna go over here and then we're just gonna paste it. Once we enter all that information, we'll then click on Create a Website. Now Hostinger AI is gonna completely generate this website using the prompt that we gave it. And look at this, we have a brand new website completely built with AI. And look at this, we got a video background here. We have a call to action. Scrolling down, we have an About Us section that looks great. Here we have our legal services, and notice here how I put American. So it's grabbing buildings that represent America, right? I've learned that if you don't put the actual country of origin, it just takes random buildings from random countries and looks really weird, right? Scrolling down, we have our client feedback. And then here we have a beautiful contact form at the end of the websites. Now on the right side also we have a color palette. So you can actually click on some of these color palettes to adjust the color palette for your websites. That's why I didn't really tell the AI to include a color palette, because the Hostinger AI Builder already has this included. And then below that, we have our footer here at the bottom. But I do want to change it back to that blue color because I think this is more serious for something like lawyers. So overall, we have a really nice looking AI website that was generated for us in just a few clicks. So we're going to go ahead and select the color palette. And once we actually pick a color palette that we want, we can then further design the websites. So up here at the top, I'll click on continue. All right, so let me walk you through how to use this AI builder. Okay, now when you're first building your website, if you double click on any element, this allows you to design and customize any elements. So I'll double click on the text, and here you can change the actual text color. You can change the heading. You can also change the fonts and the size of the elements. And then you can do things like bold it, italicize, or underline. Now, for example, if I want to change this text, I'll double click and put my new AI websites. Now, if you want to move an element, all you got to do is just drag and drop it, right? So for example, I'll click away, and then over here, I'll click on this element, and you can move this element anywhere you want on the screen, right? So I can take this and drag it right here, and that allows me to move any elements on the actual websites. If you want to change the text for any elements, all you got to do is just go ahead and double click. And then right here, you can just go ahead and adjust this to anything that you want. Now for all elements, they all have their own styling options. So for example, I'll click on this contact button, and then I'll click on edit button. Here you have options, right? So here you can change the button text. You can link this to a specific part of your website. And then we have more options where you can open a new tab or make the link not follow. You can also change the style. So this is actually the style for the elements, such as the text color, the text size, and the border color. And then over here, we have the hover effect. This is when the user hovers over the actual elements. You can choose to change the actual background. So for example, I'll change this to black. And when I hover over it, you'll now see it turns black. And then lastly, we have the animation, where it just gives the element an animation on the actual screen. Okay. Now for every element, you can also go ahead and duplicate it, hide it, and then also delete it, right? So for instance, if you want to delete this, you'll click on delete, and then the button's gone. Now, if you want to go back into the history, all you got to do is click on this undo button, and this will bring whatever element you deleted back. Now, most websites have two buttons on the home page. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to click on the button, duplicate this, and then I'm going to drag it over here, right? So essentially what we're going to do is we're now going to go ahead and make sure it's even right here. It's going to line it up with the websites. And now we have a two button landing page, right? And then maybe here, we'll just go ahead and change the color. So for the actual style, I'll just put the fill color to black, right? I think it looks better. And then just remember that under the link to, you can go ahead and link this to any page you want on your website, such as the About Us, the services, and also the contact, right? So that's how you can fiddle around with your homepage. Now, if you want to make this larger or smaller, here we'll go ahead and click on this at the bottom right here where it says section height. And this is where you can make every section larger or shorter. Now for every section, you can adjust the background settings. So I'll double click on this section, and then up here we have edit section. So here click on edit section, and here you can change this to a color. So I'll change this to something like a blue color, right? So here we have a flat color. You can also have a image, right? So if you want to add an image right here as your background. And then lastly, we can choose to use a video. Now for the images, if you click on replace image, you can actually use free images courtesy of Unsplash.com. So they do have a lot of images that you can use, and all you got to do is just type something in like lawyer, and then you'll be displayed with a list of lawyer niche photos that you can insert anywhere you want on your actual websites, right? So once you select an image, you'll then just click on add to page, and then you can use this background now as your new landing page. And then below that, there's options to adjust the opacity, have a fixed background, or you can just move the position of the actual image. Now there are some more options here, and this essentially allows you to move each section. So if I click on move down, it'll actually take that section and move it down. If I click on move up, it'll then bring it up to the top of the screen. Now there is also the generate images. Now personally, I'm not a fan of AI images just because it doesn't always give you what you want, and you're gonna spend a lot of time trying to get images that you want, and it's just better off to go to a website like Unsplash.com. Okay, now the next thing I want to show you all is how to add in elements. Now here on the left side, I'll click on add elements, and this essentially allows you to drag and drop elements anywhere you want on the actual website. So for example, if you want to drag in a text right here, I'll just take this text and I'll drop it. And then you'll see we have this text elements. And for example, I'll put Daryl Wilson, right? Daryl Wilson. I'll change the text to white. And then I'll just take this and I'll drag it right up here. And if I want to add in something else, add elements, maybe another button, I'll take a button here. And then of course we can just like drag and drop this anywhere on the screen. So next I'll go over here to add elements, and then I'll just go ahead and drag in another element, right? I'll just take this one, drag it over here, and then I'll place it right there. Now just remember, for every element that you introduce, they all have their own options. So here I'll click on edit social icons, and then for every element, they all have their own unique styling options. So just make sure that you go through each element, get familiar, just so that you know how to use them. So now that we got our landing page set up, let's go ahead and add a new section. So to add a section, right here, you'll see add section. I'll click on add section. And then here we can insert sections onto our websites. Now here they've actually broke this up into categories. So they have the about us sections, they have the services sections, contact form, subscribe form, and so on and so forth, right? But I'll go ahead and click on main. And then let's scroll down and I'll just go ahead and insert a section. So I'll insert this section here. And then voila, we have a brand new section. Now this image is a little weird, so I'm gonna delete this image, right? And then maybe we should make this a little smaller. Make this smaller, do like that. So I think that's better. Now let's say for instance, you wanna add in like a video. So I'll take this video, I'll drop it here. So now we have this YouTube video and I'll click on edit video. And what we can do is insert a video from YouTube. So over here, I just pulled up this stock footage. I'll take this link and then I'll paste it here under video link. Now, if you want to increase the size of the video right here, I'll go ahead and increase the size just like that, and we can control the size of this video. And just remember, for every section, you can always double click and then change the actual background. So edit section, and then here we can always change the background to anything that we like. You can also go with gradients. Just be careful because gradients can make your site look tacky if you don't do it the right way. So all you're gonna do from here is you're just gonna scroll throughout the rest of the website and you're just gonna adjust the images, right? So if you don't like this image right here, you can just double click on it, replace the image with free images, and then insert any image that you want. And I think this looks a lot sharper. Now for all these other sections, all you gotta do is just click on this, double click, and then you can replace the text. So from here, I think you understand what to do. Now, just remember, if you don't want a section, all you got to do is just go ahead and double click on the section. And then here we have the trash can where you can delete it. You can also hide this for specific devices. So for example, click on show hide. You can actually show this for only mobile if you want to go that route, or you can hide it on mobile, right? And if you want to delete something, you'll just delete it and that'll completely delete the section. Now the last option is going to be the contact form. So here I'll go ahead and click on the form and then click on edit form. Now for the contact form, you just want to make sure that this is your email. So make sure that you have an email right here because all the contacts right here will be sent to this specific email. You can also add in more fields. So for example, if you want to add a new field, we'll go ahead and click on this arrow and then I'll put in a short answer and I'm going to take this and move it up. And then for the short answer, I'll change this to something else. Legal issue, and then right here, I'll put explain your situation. Here we can choose to make this required. And just remember, you can add in more fields right here and build this form however you would like. You can also adjust the button, the style, and then also the animation for this contact form. Here, I'll click on close. And then the last thing we have here is the footer. So you can actually go ahead and adjust your footer by just, adding in elements, and you can build this however you would like. Okay, so let's go ahead and scroll up. Now what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna make this a little longer, right? A little bit longer. Now before you make your website live, you just wanna make sure that you insert your logo. So here I'll click on the first legal group, and then here is where you can insert your logo. So I'll click on replace image. All right, here's my logo. I'll go ahead and open it. And voila, that logo did a lot as you can tell. Now on my demo website over here, you'll see that I actually changed the actual color of my header. I also threw in some social icons right here. And then here is my logo at the top. If you want to change the background color, it's the same way. Here under the layout settings, you can actually change the color and also the style of your menu. So for example, you'll see here, we can change the menu settings. I think this one looks sharp. I do like that better actually. And then for the elements, here we can choose to show our logo. We can show social icons and then also show a button. That makes it look a lot sharper. Here for our logo, we can choose to make the logo even larger if we want to go that route. And then for the style here, we can change the actual header background. So if you want to change the color right here to something else, you can do that. or you can make this a transparent header, which basically means you don't have a background. But I do like the style that I had before, so I'm gonna take this off and then we're gonna change this back to white. So just make sure that you do add in your own logo and you adjust the header of your website before you make it live. Now, if you don't have a logo, there is a great website for this. So this is Fiverr.com. I'll leave a link to Fiverr in the video description. And all you gotta do is type in logo and you can get a logo made for you for as little as like 10 bucks. They have some for like $10, $15, 20 bucks. And these guys are actually pretty good. So I do recommend to custom make your logo. I do not recommend a free logo maker because legally you can't use those logos anyways. So yeah, I'll leave a link to Fiverr in the video description. So the website right now is looking pretty good. Now here we have other pages. So I'll click on the About Us page. And then here we have a little bit more information about our website. So this is the About Us page where you can talk about how you got started, where you are, and how long you've been in business. And then below that, we have the location of the actual business. Here we have services, and notice here how we have this one image that was from Vietnam. So I did mention this earlier. Sometimes images from other countries might get in. All you got to do is just go ahead and click on the image, edit image, and then just replace it. All right, cool. And scrolling down, we have our client feedback and then our footer here at the bottom. And lastly, we have the contact page. Now you just want to make sure that you double click on the contact form right here and just make sure that this email is your specific email and that you have access to this email. Now also for every person that fills out your contact form, here I'll click on view submission list and all of the email submissions will be sent right here. A copy will also be sent to your email, so you don't have to check Hostinger all the time because they'll go directly to your email inbox as well. So overall, we have a really nice looking AI website that we made in just a few minutes. Now let me show you all some other options before we make the site live. On the left side, we have add elements, right? But below that, we have pages and navigation. Now I do recommend to actually automate this with AI. So for example, I'll click on homepage SEO, and then here I'll click on generate new SEO information. And essentially what this is gonna do, it's gonna create SEO description for us so that we can be found on Google. So here we're describing our business. I'll click on next step. Here I'll put in 3 keywords for our website. So family law, criminal law, and then legal representation. Here I'll click on next. And then this is what our website looks like from the Google search results, right? So we have our title right here, and then here we have some description. Now, if you do want to change this, all you got to do is adjust this SEO title and then change the meta description to anything that you would like. So experience legal representation in Los Angeles. And then the meta description will explain the field of law. So once you adjust this, you'll then click on finish. Okay, and once we enter in the SEO information, you'll see we have this green check mark. So now our homepage is fully SEO optimized. You just want to make sure that you go through all the pages right here and go through the same process. So you just want to make sure that you fully optimize all of your pages for Google. Okay, so now that we talked about the actual navigation, you can always move these pages around. So if you want to adjust the pages, so you can put the, the services behind the contact or something like that, and then you can rearrange the pages on your websites. If you want to hide your website, you can always put coming soon, right? So now there'll be a coming soon banner when people visit your websites, or you can just make it not live. It's really up to you. Now, the next option is going to be the actual website styles. Now, the website styles allows you to insert a specific style for all of your elements. So here we have the default as whites. For our font, we've actually select Roboto. If you want to change your default font, you can just go ahead and select the font, and all the elements will carry this font on your websites. And then for the button style, you can actually choose if you want this circle or square or like a really sharp square, right? And then here we have animations. Now just remember that these animations will be applied for all elements on your website. So use this very sparingly. I'll go ahead and just put no animation for now. And below that, we have the AI generator. Now this allows you to create AI images, AI pages, AI sections, and you can completely create sections using AI. Now the very last thing that we're gonna talk about before we jump into submissions is these general settings. So here you'll see that there's general settings, there's also analytics, and there's just other options that you can apply to your AI websites. So for example, if you want to adjust the favicon, which is the icon here at the top of the website, you can add it here. You can also add a cookie banner if you want to go that route, and then also a link preview image. This essentially is the image that is shown on social media websites when someone shares it on something like Facebook or Twitter. And then we also have form submissions where you'll see all the submissions on your contact form. And then also you have analytics, which shows how many people are visiting your websites. So let's make this website live. Now, the first thing that I want to do is I want to connect a domain, right? So let's go ahead and make this website live. Now here at the top right, I'll click on go live. And congratulations, your website is now live on the internet. If you want to see to your website, I'll click on View Sites, and here it is. That is a strong landing page. As you can tell, this looks fantastic. Scrolling down, you'll see all the elements are in place. All the images that we selected, we have our legal services, our client feedback, and our contact form here at the bottom. So let's go ahead and scroll up. Now, let's say, for example, you want to enter your own domain onto this AI website. Let me walk you through how to do that. So going back to the builder, here at the top, I'll click on Connect Domain, and then I'll click on Change Domain. So here you can input a name for your website. So I'll go ahead and enter a domain name. So I'll put darrellawyer.com, see if that's available. And it's available. I'll go ahead and select this domain and then click on Next. Next, I'll go ahead and select the billing period. I'll just select 1 year for now. Scroll to the bottom and then click on Complete Payments. So this only costs $10, and this is actually standard for all web hosting companies. And then Hostinger will then propagate this new domain name onto our AI websites. And just like that, the domain has been added to our AI websites. So here I'll click on Continue, and then I'll click on Update Websites. So the domain is connecting, and it may take up to 24 hours in order to propagate on your new AI websites. So I'll go ahead and close this. Now, the last thing that I want to show you all is the mobile responsiveness. So right here, we have this picture of a cell phone. I'll click on Switch View. So this is the preview for mobile devices. Now, let's say, for instance, you don't want certain elements to show, or you want to adjust something. I'll go ahead and click on this contact form right here. And I don't really want this, showing 2 buttons on mobile. So I'll go ahead and hide and show this. So I'm going to make sure that I hide this on the actual mobile, right? So now on mobile, it's hidden. And scrolling down, we'll go ahead and keep scrolling, just keep scrolling. Now let's say, for instance, you want to adjust the size of the text. You'll just click on Edit Text. And then right here, we can just change the size of this to something a little bit smaller, right? And just remember that this is only being changed for the actual mobile device. So you can go ahead and scroll down here and edit this and adjust it to however you want to fit for mobile devices. If there are elements that you don't want displayed, like this image here, just remember you can always hide this. So I'll click on this image, edit image, and then I'll click on the show hide, and then we're gonna hide this for mobile. All right, cool. And then once you adjust all the changes you want for your website on mobile device, you'll then click on Update Website. And then once you're done adjusting for mobile, you'll then just click on the desktop, and this brings you back to the editing for desktop. Now, there is something that I do want to talk about, and that is the booking appointments and products. Now, you can book appointments on your AI website, and you can also sell e-commerce products as well. Just keep in mind that the book appointments is in beta. So if you do come across bugs or glitches or something, yeah, it's in beta, right? But it does work really well. So in this section of the video, I'll walk you through how to set up appointments on your AI websites. Y'all ready? Let's go back to the video. Okay, so now let me walk you through how to create appointments and also e-commerce products if you want to go that route. On the left side, we have Manage Store, and here you can click on Add a Product, but what I want to do here is click on Appointments, and then we can enable appointments. So right here, I'll click on Enable Appointments, and then here is our availability, right? So right here, Edit Availability. And then here we can pick when we're available. So this is essentially like when you're working, right? So Monday through Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday we have off. So you'll just go ahead and adjust your availability right here, and then you'll click on Save. Now we need to actually make an appointment booking. So right here, I'll click on Products. And here's some default products that were made for us automatically, right? But I'll go ahead and click on Add a Product. And here we have what kind of product we want to sell. So we have physical, multiple physical products, but I want to select appointments. So go ahead and give your appointment a name, right? Now right here, I'll go ahead and upload an image right here. So here's an image of these lawyers. I'll go ahead and select this one. Now what's really cool is when you insert an image, the AI will do its best to create a title and a subtitle and description. It isn't really what I want, so I do have to readjust this. So there's my description. I just threw in a title, a subtitle, a ribbon, and then here we have some just demo description. And then here we have pricing. Now you can always integrate Stripe and PayPal on your website, but for the price type, I'm just gonna put free for now. And then next we'll keep scrolling. Now I do wanna hide the related products, so I'm gonna hide that. Scroll down, and then here we have time and place. So here I put Zoom call, and this is gonna be 30 minutes. And I believe that's all we have to input. Here, I'll go ahead and click on Save. So now we need to create a page for our appointments. So right here under Page and Navigation, I'm gonna click on Add Page. And then here, I wanna click on Empty Page. So this is gonna be appointments. And then I'll click on Save. All right. And then right here, I'll add a new section. And the next thing I'm gonna select is I'll click on Online Store. And then here I have Single Product. So I'll click on Single Product. So now that we inserted this product, I wanna click on Edit Section, and I wanna choose the product. So Product. And I'm gonna put lawyer's appointment, And voila, now we have the Laura's appointments where people can just go ahead and book it right now directly on the website. Pretty cool. Now just make sure that under your homepage, for example, you might want to change this to something like appointments, right? Make appointments. And then for the link to, you just want to make sure that you link them to that specific page, which is the appointments page. So I'll go ahead and close that and click on update website. So essentially when someone visits this section here, it's going to take them directly to the appointment page. Now what's really cool is right here, you'll see the customer gets a thank you for your appointment. I'll go ahead and open this. And then right here, the AI completely generated this email. So it confirms they're booking appointments. It actually shows the time, how, and then also the price. And then here you can always integrate your PayPal and also your Stripe. I'm not gonna walk you through this here because I think that's better suited for another video. So personally, I do believe right now, this is probably one of the best AI tools out there. It actually gives you a solid looking website, and the fact that you can add in sections or use AI to create images, it just makes things a lot simpler. You can also integrate appointments and add in full on e-commerce products, which to me takes the cake. So if you have any questions for me about Hostinger, or if there's anything that you want to talk about, let me know in the comments below and I'll do my best to get to all of your comments. My name is Daryl Wilson and I'll see all of you party people later.